All right, guys, we are back. Bullet just jumped on the couch, so that means it's time for a podcast. Our next guest is somebody who I've relatively met recently, somewhat. Again, TikTok is what it is. I know it has its negative, stigmas to it, but I've met so many amazing people. Yeah, I've met a lot of idiots, but I've met way more amazing people. And one of these people is somebody who's come into my lives and made her a mod officially, but she just is kind and just a nice person, just good to be around. That's why I love doing this because I go on live and yeah, sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't, yada, 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 but you always meet cool people and then you get to know about them and you go, oh, like TikTok is just a giant place where I could find guests. I'm like, oh, hello, person who also has been through hell. Like, usually the people who gravitate towards me, the ones who are the most respectful and kind and understanding, are those who have been through shit themselves. And that's why, when I've always said, if I ever fall in love, it's going to be with somebody who's understanding, who's been through some shit. Because, I have. And like I said, those who I've come across on live, it's so fascinating how many people I meet on a daily basis and how many of them are just cool and friendly and understanding. And that means the world to me. So here's our next guest. Would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Aubriana. I go by Abri. I live in Texas, Houston, Texas. And I don't know what else to say. There's really nothing else to say.
No, it's okay. So what, I guess, you could say like what gravitated you towards my live? Why'd you come in and why'd you stay?
Well, you were a very positive person. I think I saw you on my For You page. You were live and you were just being so positive. And although everybody in your comment sections were being negative towards you, you had a positive mindset. You didn't let them get you down. You didn't let what they said about you, gravitate how you were feeling in the live. And I went to your page and then I seen that you were an advocate for people with disabilities and mental health disorders. And
no.
Yeah, you were just, overall, you seemed like a nice person and you are a nice person. You spread positivity into the world and that's kind of what I like about you.
Thank you. I wasn't going for a full-blown compliment, but I appreciate it. I just, kind of tied it into, I guess, I've been doing this long enough, so you try to find a way to bring it towards, okay, yes, I have my own conditions and things that I've been through. And yeah, like I said earlier, like a lot of times those who come in who are the way you are with me are those who have been through shit themselves. So yeah, why don't you tell us what you've been through, my darling?
All right. Well, the disorder I have, it's called factor 11 deficiency, also known as hemophilia type C. I got diagnosed with it at the age of 2. We were kind of playing outside and my grandparents had this like concrete slab, but it was like slick slab. This is how we found out about it. We were playing with my cousins and back then I did ballet. Like as a kid, because my mom wanted me to be a dancer and stuff. So we were practicing. I was showing my grandpa my twirls and I had socks on. So I slipped and this might be a little graphic, but I went down and I hit my 2 front teeth. And the disorder I have, it's called a blood disorder because my blood does not clot. So most people, they get cut or if they bruise, it goes away very easily. Mine, I will probably be bruised for like a month, depending on how impactful the fall was.
Mm-hmm. You don't heal as fast.
I don't heal fast. Like if I cut myself, the cut will probably stay open for like maybe a week before it fully clots over. But we were playing outside. I fell, hit my 2 front teeth, and I was rushed inside, and everybody was freaking out because it wasn't stopping, I'm guessing. What my mom told me. And at a point, it just kept gushing out of my like 2 front teeth. So my mom called the ambulance and they took me to our town doctor, which isn't really a good town doctor. and they told me it was nothing. They told my mom that basically, hey, it was just a very trauma. It was a trauma. I want to say it was a trauma bleed or trauma, something to my teeth. And that's why it was bleeding so much. But my mom didn't believe that. So she took me to a doctor in Houston, like far in Houston. And it came out to be that I had a rare bleeding disorder.
It's that motherly instinct that'll save you.
Yep, and it was. Luckily, she did.
Yeah.
And we kind of just found out more about my blood disorder. There's only like roughly 1 million people who have this disorder. But as I was looking it up on TikTok, there's a lot of people now with the disorder. And it kind of comes, this is the name I'm going to mess up. It comes from Ashkenaz's Jewish descendants. So that basically means that, like, I don't know, I think the way the doctor was describing it to me this day was there's a Jewish community, I'm guessing back then, and this was like a rare, like back then rare disorder. But I'm guessing it's just from our Jewish descendants is where I got it from. Because my mom don't have it, my father doesn't have it, or what I was told. And it's most likely from my father's side, because I don't speak to my father.
Gotcha.
But yes.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what's passed down through our genetics. Especially, you and I both have something. Mine probably isn't as rare as yours is, but I think it's good to bring awareness to it, because there's somebody out there that, I think that's what the internet is so good for, is that you can bump into, even though your condition's rare, you can find people out there who have the same condition. You could just Google or look up the hashtags and you can find somebody, so you're not alone. When I was younger, I'm probably close to 20 years older than you, and it's like, man, when I had my condition, my mom was trying to find somebody who had this condition because they told her I had chickenpox. So that motherly instinct kicked in, and she fought until they really found out what was really wrong with me. And so, I can relate to a lot of your story in a ways, because it's, we just got to keep trying to figure out what's wrong. And, somebody was in my live earlier, and they were asking me, why am I just getting this surgery now, or trying to get this surgery? And it's like, that's a lot of idiocy and just, doctors screwing up. And now I'm finally to a point where I think I know what direction I'm headed, but you get turned around many times and told this is what it is, even though it's not. And, hopefully you find out in time before it gets too bad. So I'm glad that they at least told you what's wrong. And I'm assuming this is something that carries through your whole life?
Yes. It's a long term. It's forever.
Yeah.
Which we're lucky that that specific doctor caught it at the age of 2, because if it wasn't caught on and I wasn't taking medication for it like I was supposed to, I wouldn't have made it past 14. So it's a very bad but good turnout for a situation.
Yeah, well, I was going to do a video about this in a little bit, but it's like, man, sometimes it's so hard to be grateful, but if you can put it into some sort of perspective that really opens your eyes and your mind to the idea of, shit, I'm lucky. Like, shit, I'm lucky. Like, I shouldn't, when you said you could have died at 14, like, and you're what, 20, 21?
21.
21. So you got 7 extra years that you almost didn't have.
Yes, which is I'm very lucky to have, and I'm very thankful for my mom for, pushing these doctors, or going to all these other doctors, because at the first beginning of my thing, we weren't living nowhere close to Houston, Texas. We were like maybe 2 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So after, we learned that we would be here more often, because most of my childhood I did spend in the hospital getting poked. And like I said, they tested all different things. They tested amoxicillin, penicillin, a bunch of other drugs to, I guess, try to make it feel better.
Right.
because I did have growing pains like real bad with my joints. Because that's another thing. It messes up. It does mess up your joints, or at least it did for me. I have very fragile. I have very fragile joints.
Yeah, I mean, and that's it's a lot of trial and error, man. A lot of trial and error. It's a lot of just trying shit until something sticks or something works. I mean, that's what I've been doing with my anxiety medication, trying all these different ones until one actually does everything I need it to do. Fortunately, there's a lot of error. There's a lot of mishaps that just don't work out. So, I mean, glad you're still young enough to kind of know what to do, what not to do. But I'm sure you're still learning new things about it.
I am. I recently found out that it's gonna cause me not to have children. So
Hmm.
there's no hope in the future for that. But adoption is a thing. So thankfully that's a thing that can happen.
Yeah, and you never know, man. You just never know. Because there have been people told that you can't have a kid, and they're on birth control, and they still somehow have a kid.
Yes.
So don't 100% rule it out. Obviously, I know it's kind of like me with driving, right? Like I probably will never drive, but maybe, maybe. And it's it's a hard pill to swallow when it's like you can't have, because I know especially as a woman, like trying to have kids, like it's a big thing. But don't rule it out entirely. Just right now, you're so young. Just take care of yourself and try to be the best person you can be. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, find another way. There's always another way. And I
Yes.
know, you want to be able to have your own, because it came out of you. That's yours. But it's the same thing way I look at family. Like, just because they brought you into this world or just because you're related doesn't make them family. You know, they're family because they love you unconditionally, and they treat you like family, and they care about you, and they're loyal to you, and they and all that. That's why they're family. And there are a lot of people
Mhm.
in this world that'll be family that are not blood related. So worst case scenario, you had to adopt a kid. It doesn't mean just because you didn't pop them out doesn't mean they're not yours.
Yes, that is correct.
So like I said, because you're young like that, like just focus on where you're headed right now. Just keep being a good person. And we were talking about in the live earlier where it's just like we have to stop like accepting what is just because it is what it is. Like we have to stop just saying, well, okay, but you just need to accept it because that's just the way it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can change. We can be the change. It's just no one wants to do it. Well, somebody's got to. And so just by you being 21 and being young and sweet and kind and a good person, it's like that stands out. Because, me, I talk to hundreds of people a day, and not everybody catches my eye. There's a lot of people that'll come in and will say, do you remember me? And I just go, yeah, kind of, sort of. And you're one of those people. I mean, you're also in there a lot too, but you stand out because you're just a sweet girl. And you can't say that about every 21-year-old nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that is correct.
It's okay. Yeah.
Most people in this generation don't have common courtesy, like I tell you in your lives. They don't have common sense.
Yeah, but like I said, when I see somebody who does, it's really appreciative because I really appreciate someone who just is kind. Because I don't know, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I've been told this where it's like if you get to know me, you don't really notice the eyes. You only notice it if that's all you're looking at. If you're just looking at someone's ailments, if you're just saying, "Oh, this thing is wrong with you," if you're only staring at one thing, that's all you're gonna see. But if you really like look at the whole picture, zoom out and see what's really going on, you can really love a person and you can really see more than that. And then when you actually do zoom back in and go, "Oh yeah, okay, the eyes, yeah, I get it. They blink and they're red and yada yada yada," but or whatever's wrong with any person, you go, "Okay, yeah, I see that they're in a wheelchair. I get that." But that doesn't change anything. Like so that's where we're kind of like the younger generation is so lost because it almost seems like it's okay to just be rude and but you're not like that. So I'm very much appreciated. Not just for me, but for anybody. All right.
Sorry, I'm coming over a cold.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, no, it gives me hope as someone who's gonna be 37 here. It gives me hope that younger people. There's still some of y'all that are actually respectful. Some of y'all are really kind and just cool. And you're not the only one, but you're one of them where I'm just like, man, thank God that she exists, because you see so many, and some of them are adults, and you're like, dude, really? Can we try to be nicer to each other for real? I mean, you've seen it with the politics and all the other shit where it's like, why do we hate each other so much? What's the point of this? Why? You can have your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Just some stuff keep to yourself.
Yeah, I don't think people know how to do that nowadays. I think they think that being mean is being funny.
Well, and everybody wants to be heard too. Everybody wants their voice to matter, and truth of the matter is most people's voices don't add up to much because their opinions are manufactured or they're copy and pasted from some news outlet or social media. They don't really know what their true opinion is. They just go with whatever they're told. And if you just say the same thing that everyone else says, you're just going to blend in with everybody. But if you say something that stands out, all right, then there we go. I mean, that's why I said the other day where it's like, why do you have to be Pepsi or Coke? Why can't you like RC Cola? Like, why can't you like something that you like? Why do I have to like what you like? Why do I have to like sports? Why do I have to like politics or music or whatever? What if I just like, knitting and I don't know, playing board games? What if that's what I like? What's wrong with that? And the thing is, there is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with whatever you like, as long as you're not causing harm to the world or to people or animals. What doesn't matter? And even if you do have a opinion on religion, politics, race, yada yada yada, okay. Even if you don't agree with it, you're allowed to have it. And I think we just got to find a place where we can get to like, okay, you think one way and I think the other. That's okay. Cool. We both think that way, or we both think, opposed from each other. So why can't we just talk and still get along and find some common ground? Even if it's agree to disagree, let's just sit down and talk. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to agree with me at the end of the day. Just respect me. That's all I ask. So, yeah. So those of us, and that's why why I speak so loudly about us with disabilities, because we are people who get shunned, and we a lot of times our opinions don't seem to come through as loud as others because we are looked at as less than because of who we are, because there's something wrong with us. But nothing makes anybody lesser, and I refuse to let anybody say anything about you or me or anybody like us where it's like, man, we struggle every day. We deal with what we deal with, and all we want is just to be a part of society. Even if it's going to be hard, we just want to be a part of it. We just want to be treated like everyone else. And it's the disrespect that you just can't tolerate. You are so quiet.
Oh, sorry, I'm still looking through these papers.
You don't got to read off the papers.
Yeah, but it has kind of more. The paper this lady gave me, kind of has more facts and little, I would say, symptoms to let people know. Because I think that's another reason why I wanted to come on here. When I was younger, I was told by the doctor that I was the first person who came into there knowing or not knowing what they had, which I kind of want to put like symptoms out there. So if anybody happens to see this, or they notice this, that they can, go see a doctor and make it easier because then they know possibly what they have.
Sure. Go ahead. If you can find them.
Okay. One of the symptoms is prolonged bleeding, excessive bleeding after injury, surgery, or dental procedures. Growing up, I had to have the best of the best doctors, and most of the times I couldn't go to the doctors or like do little procedures. I still have my wisdom teeth because the doctors refuse to work on me because it is a big liability for them working on somebody who has my type of disorder. There's another incident of bleeding into joints and muscles. That is another symptom. Heavy menstrual periods too. Another one is easy bruising, and you'll bruise more easily than others, even from like a minor injury. I bumped my knee on my chair a couple of days ago, and like I said, I still have a big bruise. Another symptom is frequent or prolonged nose bleedings. Growing up, as a baby, my mom said she didn't think nothing too much of it, but my nose was always bleeding. So that is another good thing that could be, seen in babies, because we've found out recently that one of my nephews have the exact same disorder I have. So luckily with my sister, having to grow up with me and seeing everything, she was able to point it out. So thankful for me having it. She was able to see the symptoms and got our baby some help.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to fill in those gaps.
Yes, thankfully. Another symptoms are joint pains. Like I said, my joints are very bad and my joints are stiff. Muscle weakness and delayed wound healing and tiredness. Which also with having this blood disorder, I have iron deficiency. So that's a double whammy.
Sure. It's going to make you tired.
Yes, a lot.
Well, that's always the problem with some of these conditions where it's like they have symptoms that coincide with other things. So you're like, is this what I have? And then,
or is it this? Which is a correct thing, which I was going to say. Having the symptoms, my doctor said, does not directly mean you have this, which is why I would say just go get it tested out. But thankfully, those are some of the symptoms that were easy to catch on. Luckily.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. Yeah, no, it's good to get that out there because, like I said, I know a lot of different disabilities, and I've interviewed so many people with rare conditions, but even I have never heard of it.
Yeah. The technical name for it, though, is it's factor 11, but it's hemophilia C. I just call it factor 11 because that's what the doctors told me it was, right? Like growing up. So it was always that, not the other thing. But there's many names for it, like I said.
Right. Yeah. No, it's good to educate the people, man. It is. Because I think it's, especially with kids, man. And, I mean, that's one of the things I've learned so much about the condition I had, that so many kids are the ones that are getting it and are just being severely just ravaged by it. And if we could just help a parent, give them some information, because that's the hardest part now, whereas like if you're looking for solutions to your problems, you go on the internet, you have a million different answers. You're going to have fake doctors and all these ads and things, and you're just going to be like, they're going to say every symptom that you have, and then they're going to give you some pill, and this pill is going to either make things worse or do nothing. And, I know how my mom was when I was sick, and she was just looking for answers because she knew what was wrong wasn't what they were saying. And anyway, you can just be like, hey, this is what to look out for. I think is really awesome, because there's a lot of parents or a lot of kids right now, or people in general with your condition, just trying to go, hey, what the fuck is this? Why am I bleeding? Why am I so tired? And all they need to know is, oh, this is what I have. All right, this is what I can do for the future. Because I'm sure there are some people, you said that you almost, weren't supposed to be here. So I'm sure there's some that didn't make it because they didn't have your information.
Yes.
That's
And I looked on more on Google about people with it and TikTok, and like I said, yeah, there were kids I seen. There was a couple adults, but they kind of stopped posting after a while. So it was kind of scary to think that, maybe they weren't able to catch it on early, or, able to go and tell doctors, hey, this isn't right. I shouldn't be this tired during the day, or this bruise should not stay on my body this long. And the doctors are like, well, it's just a big bruise or this and that. And, I hope from this podcast that people, they go and they look more into it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I said I've never heard of it, so I can only imagine I wonder how many have it and they don't know. It's got to be a scary feeling to just not know what's wrong with you, and it's severe and it's problematic, and every day you're affected by it, but they tell you you're fine, or they tell you it's not that severe. The reality of it is, and you're on a clock where you're trying to figure out, well, okay, this is if I don't figure this out by a certain amount of time, I might not make it. But the doctors are saying, oh, you'll be okay, and then you're not, and then it gets progressively worse, and then they find out when it's too late. So that's why it's up to us to really do our part, because I mean, you see it. But I've met so many people that are like, man, I used to take amoxicillin, or I used to take this antibiotic, and my skin started peeling, or I started breaking out in blisters. And I'm like, you were just a smidge, a second away from becoming me, or worse. And that's scary to know how many people take these medications and don't know anything about them and don't know that they're allergic to them. And there's so many that didn't make it because they just weren't informed. And so I'm imagining, I mean, you're 21, you're young, but I can imagine that's got to be important to you to kind of help people who are going through what you're going through.
But I just know that it's a rare and it was inherited disorder, which is why I kind of urge some of my friends that I know that I wouldn't say are like me, but they have the symptoms. I urge them to go get tested. Luckily, they didn't have anything.
Right.
But it's just something I would hope, parents or maybe whoever's listening to this podcast could just, never know.
Never know.
Could save somebody's life.
Yeah, or, I mean, even if it doesn't save their life, it just could give them some closure. We're like,
Yeah.
hey, I've been dealing with this my whole life. I'm okay, but damn it, what is this thing that I can't shake? And then you find out it's that, and you're like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'll get tested now. And then they find out it's that, and then all of a sudden, like, it relieves so much stress in their body because it's like, man, now I know what's wrong with me. Even if I can't even 100% do anything about it, it's like, it just brings them some peace and solace to know that I know what's wrong. But yeah, man, I appreciate you sharing about your condition, because your voice is needed, man. Do you do videos on your condition?
No, it's kind of, I didn't want too many people to know about it. I mean, I don't go up to everybody and kind of talk about it with everybody that I know. I just sort of told my two, 3 or 4 friends about it just to make sure.
Right. Is this something you want to talk about in the future?
I think so. I think you gave me the confidence to go out and speak about it. I was recently speaking to my boyfriend about it, that I kind of want to start making, like my little vlogs, or just even talking about some of the things that I can't do, because there's things I can't do. And unfortunately, I can't go outside for too long because it would start to hurt my bones. I can't play sports. I can't really do nothing too fun.
Right.
I couldn't play sports growing up. And probably the one fun thing I was able to do, like I said, was ballet, but that ended after we kind of found out about the disorder.
Yeah. I have a cousin who has multiple sclerosis, MS, and every time I check on him from now and then he he's struggling mentally because, damn it, my voice. He starts to struggle because he was a very physical, like outgoing person, and then it took away a lot of his mobility, and that just destroys him because he doesn't want to be stuck in a chair. He doesn't want to be stuck in his apartment, but he is because he his mental is also gone too, meaning like he's kind of given up. And I don't know whatever I could do to keep you going, but just know, like, yeah, it sucks when you find out you can't do something, and when they tell you like you shouldn't do this or whatever, you come to the realization that like I probably shouldn't do this. It's just not beneficial for my health, but you can do something, man. There's always something you're meant to do. There's always something you can do. Don't limit yourself, even though you already have limitations. Just because you can't play basketball doesn't mean you can't do something else. You have plenty of potential and possibilities. And I don't know, maybe you're headed down the same road where I'm at right now, using your voice to help others. Or maybe that's just a small part of your journey. I don't know. I don't know you enough to tell you what you're meant to do, but don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to help, man, because you could actually save some lives by just being yourself. Not just even sharing your condition, but just being a woman, man. Being a woman and just saying, hey, like I struggle, I have mental health, I live, and you could just being a good person sometimes is enough. You've seen me. Some days I'm not always at my best, but
You still try to be at your best.
I try, right? But it has some effect on you. It's the reason why you stay. And in my head, I think I'm just being an idiot or I suck. But to those who I matter to on there, think that like, man, look at him go. He's trying. And if it keeps you going, it keeps somebody going out there, that makes me happy. And you could do the same thing because like you do a small thing for me. Like I said, the fact that you're so kind and respectful. Yeah, you understand because you're going through your own hell, but you don't have to. You could easily just be consumed by your own problems and say, fuck TJ. Like, why do I care? He's just another person. He doesn't understand my thing. Even if you know I do, you're like, you don't need to care about me. You could easily burden society with your pain because you're so hurting. You're hurting on the inside, but you're not. You're a good person. So, I think you have a lot of potential to help more people, more than just even your condition. Just showing these young kids, hey man, I'm 21. What's your excuse? Why are you such an asshole? Hey, I'm nice. Why are you not nice? And guess what? I'm nice and I'm in real pain. And I have mental pain. And I have this and I have that. Like I don't think society understands when something is taken from you, like your ability to be active or my ability to drive, things like that. Like that sucks when you tell somebody that you probably can't ever do this because you want to prove them wrong. And maybe you can, maybe you can't, but it's hard because you come to a realization when you can't do something, you're like, damn it, man, like that's not fair. It's not fair. I want to do it. Why can't I? I'm a good person. I don't deserve this, but you just have a different purpose. And so don't sell yourself short, man. Go out there and you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I think you would be good at it. You just you got to find the way to have confidence in doing it. It took me forever to be like this. So you're young. You're already getting some knowledge and game on. You're going to be fine, man. You just got to use everything that fuels you, everything that keeps you going. Use that to help motivate you to help the younger Aubrey, help the little girl, be the, like I always say, I like to be the friend that I never had. Be that, be the person that Aubrey wished she had before her mom took it in their own hands to figure out what was wrong. Be what your mom was to you to others. You can help so many more people.
And that's what I'm hoping from this podcast. Like I said earlier, I'm hoping that, maybe they reach out or even just look up other people who have the disorder.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, as somebody who cares about you, man, don't podcast aside. Don't forget to do it on your own too, because you got a lot of potential. You just got to see it. And I know how some perceive me, man, and it's weird that so many like me. Because I swear to God, I didn't grow up like that. I didn't have any friends, so I didn't know what it's like to have people like, man, I'm such a big fan, and I love you, and thank you for what you're doing. Like, I still don't know how to really accept it, because it's weird to me. But at the same time, I know it's genuine, and I know what I'm doing means something. So I'm going to keep doing it. And I say all these things to you because, hey, man, I need help. And I need others. If there's anything that y'all take from me, is I want y'all to feel like you can do it too, because we need more people speaking up, not just about disabilities and our own conditions, but just about being a good person in this world. We need positive, motivational content, because you look around on TikTok or any platform, you see a bunch of nonsense. And that's okay. They're allowed to do that. But it's a distraction. And we all need to be distracted every now and then, but we also need others to bring us back to reality and say, hey, this is real too. So, anyway, but yeah, you're going to be fine, man. But I'm proud of you for how much you've overcome, and that you're still here, man.
And I thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, don't ever discredit what you've been through, because, like I said, or like you said, you shouldn't be here, and you are. And that's not just, the doctors gave you medicine, or you were informed. It's also you had the will to want to be here, because it all trickles down from the top. And if your brain says, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore, your body will follow suit. And you're choosing to be here because whatever it is that you're holding on to, whatever makes you happy, you don't want to see your mom sad. You want to see what tomorrow has to bring. Whatever it is that keeps you going every day, you choose to be here, and you don't have to. And so I'm saying this as someone who cares about you. Don't forget to love yourself and say, hey, thanks for not giving up. Thanks for not giving up on me. Say that to yourself, because it's easy to give up, man. I'm sure you have had days you wanted to, but you didn't. So that's important.
Wow.
I know.
I'm looking at this paper from my doctor, and foods I'm supposed to avoid are garlic and ginger.
Oh yeah. Why is that? Are those things you haven't been avoiding?
I like garlic, the garlic knots, like garlic seafood.
Oh, right.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah, well, it's good to see. You're informing yourself every day. So is there anything else you really want to talk about? I know you're not as talkative as me, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want you to get out whatever you want to say.
Let's see. I think I went over everything with the disorder and with me.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk about, there's one thing I wanted to bring up, because I know that, like I said, I was looking and there are people like me. If y'all have a chance to, and I'm speaking to the viewers, if y'all have a chance to donate plasma, which is FFP, really, really do that, because there's people who need it for certain procedures, or even like the minor cuts in our community, or my community, but y'all's community if y'all have the disorder. That's another thing that I wanted to kind of come on here and put out there because I seen somebody in your comments on your live earlier saying that they were going to go and donate, which I didn't get a chance to respond to them because I think they went off. But that is what we need, or people like me need more in this world is plasma because people are not willing to go out and donate anymore like back then.
Good to know. I'll start donating plasma. I was thinking about doing it anyway, and you get paid for it, so you might as well do it.
Yeah, yes,
Oh, that's good
they
to
can.
know. All right, so this is a question that won't be on your paper though, but like where I'm not gonna ask you like where you want to be in 10 years or whatever, but like what is it that you want from life? Like you're young, so is there something you want to be doing? Whatever. What does Aubrey want from her future?
I want to be more outgoing. I want to possibly maybe go into my disorder school wise and try to help more people like me.
Awesome.
Because growing up, I had the doctors, well, this, and I know I want a doctor, or I hope that I could be a doctor to somebody with my disorder and be like, hey, I know what you're going through. I know what it's like to not be able to go out and do all these fun things or go out and do certain things with your friends.
Yeah.
I hope and pray in the future that that's what I could be. I could be my mom for somebody else, like you said.
Right. No, that's beautiful. And like even if like being an actual doctor isn't in your future, I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying that even if that's not, like you can help so many people. That's what social media, like the good part of social media is you can be so much more to somebody. You could just pop into somebody's living room and be the hope that they needed to get them through the next day. So, yeah, maybe not you as far as being an actual doctor, but you could be that person, man, that just needed you.
Could be an advocate for this disorder.
Yeah, or just it's not even if you take the disorder out of it, like you could be the reason why someone is here today. Maybe it's they're struggling with something else, and you're just a good friend in their life, and they just say, "Thank you, Aubrey. I needed you today." For whatever reason it is, I just needed to hear your voice. I needed to hear somebody say, "Hey, there's a reason to be here." I needed to hear someone say, "You know what? I love you," or "You matter," and that's super important. There's I think every person at one point or another in their life needed to hear that they mattered to somebody. And when our brains are going off the rails, no matter how many people tell us we love us, in the moment when we need it most, a lot of times no one says it. And you may be that person to just, take out the silence and say, nope, nope, you matter. And so no, man, you're gonna be great. I believe in you. And as far as you boosting your confidence, all that, you'll get it. You keep talking to me and keep hanging around me. We'll work on it. We will work on it. And you always have a friend if you ever need me.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come on here,
Of course.
letting me tell my story, and hopefully educate somebody else.
Yeah, we will. I'm sure it'll help somebody, man. You want to promote your TikTok before we get out of here?
Let me go look it up. I don't know it by heart. My TikTok is They Envy Aubrey, the dot after Envy 04.
Right.
And if y'all, most likely, if y'all go and look through his TikTok page, you'll probably see me.
Yes, she's very supportive. All right. Well, I thank you for coming on, sweetheart, and I'll be going live later. But if you need me, I'm around. Okay.
All right. Well, no problem. Thank you for letting me come on here. Thank y'all for listening to viewers. Everybody have a good day.
All right. You too, sweetie. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. We are out of here. I hope y'all like that. She's a sweet girl. And yeah, I'll see y'all later, guys. All right. I don't have much to say, but I'm out.